Hey everybody, welcome back to day one. Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Master Spas, deboer, wetsuits, Quintana Roo, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We're actually about to send out our 50,000th grant for CAF, and we'll send out over $5 million this month to help athletes all over the planet. Our next guest, three-time Ironman World Champion, Ironman World Championship course record holder, and only one of our favorite people on the planet, Mr. Patrick Lange, joins us. How you doing, buddy?
What an introduction. Thank you. Yeah,
it's always such a treat. We had such a fun time last year sitting in the same spot, looking at the pier, and I look at, like last year you had a panic attack European champs, cold water here. We were Challenge Roth. You get kicked.
Yeah.
We were practicing your victory dance beforehand, and then you get kicked in the ribs out of the race. I mean,
yeah.
But then when you have the race like you had in Kona, the other stuff really doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a rocky way to the third title, I'd say.
Yes.
No, the season did not at all went according to plan. I definitely had bigger plans, and also the shape was much better than I could show in almost every race.
Right.
I had a bad start here, was really struggling with the cold weather. I think the next one was Texas, and we all knew like I crossed the finish line in second, and it was like
Thomas got
maybe,
disqualified for doping.
So, exactly. That was also a second place doesn't feel like a victory.
No.
Even if you get it after a disqualification.
No.
So it just came like I was not sure where to be, and it's like the training was good. The build-ups to almost every race were pretty decent and pretty fit all the time, but something happened, and to finish it off with such a race in Kona, like it was worth the wait and all the pain, going through the season. So I was rewarded with the best race of my life, and it's pretty. It is pretty. I am pretty stoked still to hear.
What do you learn from that?
Ironman
What do you learn from that when you're? I mean, it's like you come here and you feel like you're ready, and then you're cold and you can't really perform, and then you go to Texas and other guy who ends up going positive is in front of you, and you've won that race before, and then Challenge Roth, which you've won, and you get kicked, and so all this, but then everything turned around. So what do you gain from that, knowing that you can't fixate on one race during the season? You have to look at what's the end result.
From losing, you always learn the most, I think. From winning, you don't learn so much. So I always give myself like one day to really, struggle with it and be angry at myself. But on the next day, I think it's really important to sit down with my team and analyze what's been going wrong, what maybe what we could do better in the preparation and training, nutrition, race strategy, whatever. So I really think that I learned from those, from those bad races. And so you say, like in road, I got kicked. So I was thinking, okay, how can I position myself better? What did I do wrong? How can I not be in the situation to get kicked? Or in Frankfurt, how can I prepare my mental setup? Because as you said, like the hour before Frankfurt, I was in a place that I simply don't want to be in anymore.
Right.
It's like it was taking so much of my energy. And how do I want to feel mentally going into that race, and how can I improve my mental fitness and everything? So it just, I think it, every bad race I had this season, like, created a little bit more of momentum towards Kona to be getting better every day, every time. So I think it made me stronger.
Also, a big change. You had a new coach, right?
Yes,
and the way you race, I think people would look at the way you raced in the past in Kona was like, okay, Patrick is going to try to hang in on the bike, and then he'll just run by everybody. But you were different this year, right? You were fourth out of the water. You were aggressive on the bike. This is early in the bike ride, going up Palani.
Yeah.
Early in the bike ride, you're out of the saddle, right? You're out of the saddle racing. You were racing from the first second of that day, not,
100%.
okay, try to avoid getting too far behind because I've got my ace, which is I'm the best runner in the sport.
Yes.
It's like, but I'm also a great swimmer, and I'm also a great cyclist, and I'm a great triathlete, and the closer I am, then makes it easier to win the race, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So you have to race all day long. But that seems sort of new for us on the outside. Seeing you in past years, I don't think we would have seen you out of the saddle going up Palani 10, 15 miles into the bike ride.
I think I had great bike rides in Kona before.
Yes.
But obviously, as one with start number 1 or 2, you always be compared to the biggest, to the fastest. And compared to them, I always felt a little bit short, lost some time.
Right.
And I think, everyone has to go out of the saddle going up Palani. But this time especially, I just had a good preparation mentally going into there.
Yes.
And to be honest, I was riding a 61 by front chain ring, so I knew, okay, if I want to go up without pushing my bike, I really have to attack.
Without walking.
So I threw
you
down,
needed the momentum to get up that thing.
I threw down like 600 watts in average for 40 seconds or something. I was cranking it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I found myself in the lead for the chase. I was first or second onto the highway, following Sam, and it always it ticked another box to be positive about. So my positive attitude just ramped up. First meters in the swim, okay, I'm in there. I look up, I see the stand-up pedal board. Okay, I'm right there. I wear one. Okay, positive click. You know. Position myself. Okay, not much fighting going on. I have good feeling for the water. Okay, look up. I'm 5th, 4th position. I can hang in there around the boat. Another position. So everything positively clicks. So I visualize the race. Obviously, you visualize how you want to have the race to unfold. And it unfolded completely, or even better.
Yes.
And also the attack up Palani, just one another like positive click, and then followed along. I really have to close some gaps, but I felt that I had the power, and
you could do it.
I was there, and I think this really is thanks to the new coach who trained me really specifically for this situation, the surges, and you're also with the race ranger system.
Right.
It's kind of more. How can you say it? It's like more yo-yoing, and you have to be really focused on the light. You don't want to get into the red, or you have to pass immediately. So the referees the racing got much fairer, but also much more.
More dynamic.
More dynamic. It's just more like a road race.
People weren't just sitting. People were moving. Which makes a big difference. Which is different for that race.
Yeah, and then I was I was happy if when we turned in quite high going up to Harvey, because then all of a sudden like it was more
calm
of
down a little bit.
It didn't calm down like power wise, but it was not so peaky anymore.
Got it.
So
more consistent.
Exactly.
Yes.
So and. I'm not the youngest anymore, so I had to.
Come on now, 38 years old, you're a young guy.
38 years young, yeah.
Yes.
So no, and again, everything clicked positively, and when I was released almost onto the marathon course, I felt like, okay, let's fucking go and let's have it.
Fucking go.
And
yes. And you did.
And yeah, I think I cranked out the first 10 kilometers even a little bit too fast, maybe. But I also want to get into the mind of Sam, because I was calculating, okay, when do I catch him? If I run this pace, he must have thought the same.
Right.
So I said, okay, let's push and let's see.
Let's get him as early as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, great
And
race.
2:37, 4:06 bike.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You know, 47 swim, 4:06 bike, 2:37. It's a perfect day.
Yeah,
Break the course
hands
record
down.
by
Yeah,
5 minutes.
I mean, the perfect day would be to have broken the run course record,
Yes.
but
But you're
I
still,
left some.
yeah, you're still, I think you still have more sub 240 marathons than anybody on the planet at Ironman
Yeah,
racing.
maybe. No, it was honestly was the perfect day, and I was just so happy, and so there was
Yes.
so many emotions, relief, and I think not many people. I mean, you always had me on your list for winning the race. I know,
Always. Always.
but not many.
People were counting you out, especially
Yeah.
with the stuff that happened during the year. But
exactly.
you know, it's funny because I almost was thinking about releasing that Roth footage that we shot of you doing the dance when you win Roth. We were like, you know, we should release this because it's going to happen. He's going to be winning something. So being back here after dealing with the cold last year, so how do you approach this race differently than last year? Wear more clothing? What do you do?
Getting into a couple of things.
Yes.
I really coming from Europe, you have to be here at least like 7, 8
Yes.
or 10 days in advance, I guess. So I made this mistake last year, arriving here I think on Wednesday
Of race week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, too late.
It is too late,
Yes.
especially to the East Coast. It's just so much time difference.
Right.
So this is the first thing I'm on race day. It will be 10 days here preparing, getting almost every day into the ocean,
Yes.
desensibilize.
Get ready for the cold water,
Exactly.
no
So
shock.
you have no shock or a little bit less of a shock if you go in there in the mornings. I think those are the two key elements I just made different and preparing for this race. And other than that, I think during the last 2-3 months, we changed quite a bit in the training.
Yes.
And I really looking forward to put this on race day and see if I really, can take over this speed. Especially like we did a lot of VO2 max stuff, really hard stuff, like whatever, like 35 seconds at
High,
500
high.
watts,
Wow.
15 seconds rest, and do it for 12, 14 times, like really hard stuff, high lactate stuff, and also, again, more race specific stuff, like more on this, like 350, like this really stinging in aero position, like, because we will see that again, like it levels up every year, and I think this year we will see it as well, that the racing just gets faster and faster and faster.
Well,
so yeah.
in this course, I think suits you. I think, forgetting the cold part, the fact that it's got some really significant climbing on Camp Pendleton, and then there's always a headwind on the way back in at the end of the bike, and this run course is fast. Right, even with the a couple climbs on the pier, but it's a fast course. It's concrete rather than asphalt, so it's not springier. It's harder on your legs, but it's faster. I've always felt this course suits you well, and we haven't seen the Patrick Lange performance here that is there.
I think generally in 70.3 I was not really able to extract my performance that I'm capable of doing, and I'm still chasing this. So I have a couple of 70.3 victories, but as I really think I am made for long course Ironman racing. I see myself as an Ironman racer.
Absolutely.
My target is to win another world championship title for Ironman racing. So it's always like also mentally a little bit of a different feeling into going into the 70.3. And for me, the hurting is definitely much bigger than in an Ironman. So again, mentally preparing for being in a world of pain for 4 hours. It's like really important for me right now. And but yeah, I hope I can race to my abilities
Yes.
on Saturday. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Right. And with Nice this year, it's Ironman World Championship Nice. You got second there 2 years ago, and that course is really good for you too.
Yes.
It's a great. It's just like the courses, Kona and Nice are obviously very different, but I think
So
they
different.
both suit you really,
Yes.
really well. I remember when we were at that the Global Triathlon Awards, and we did a photo with me, you, and Sam, and you guys were going to go ride the course.
Yeah.
I think the next day, it was like 2 years ago or something before.
He kicked my ass that
Yeah.
day. I couldn't have. I shouldn't have so many beers that day.
But did you, even though he kicked you out, you knew he was going to be a factor on that course.
Yeah.
But did you feel that this course suits you as well? Because it is some steep climbing.
If you look on the pure paper, the Kona course doesn't suit me at all. Like
Really?
as a light athlete. Yeah,
Okay.
because
It's a power course.
it is a power course,
Yes.
hands down. But the overall conditions
Yes.
just suits me very well, like
The
the
heat,
heat,
the
wind, and everything. So, and also I seem to perform best in a super stacked field. You know,
Yes.
that's what really gets the most
Of
out
course,
of me.
right.
And this is always in a world
You
championship.
want to race the best.
So, exactly. And on paper, I think the course in Nice suits me even better than the course in Kona, because it has this long climb.
Yes.
And I really believe that I know what I can do better to perform better. So I really think we lost the race on the plateau in 23. So this is where Sam really put
really pushed.
the throttle down, and he gained so much time. So yeah, I think improving that will be key, and I cannot wait to race there again.
Yes.
I think it's a great race too, and even though I really think that the World Championship, for me, the real World Championship will always be in Kona. I'm sorry
absolutely.
to say.
No, don't
It's
be
like-
sorry to
it's-
say. I
it's,
couldn't
it's
agree
just
more.
my the feeling that I have. I grew up with it. It was always my dream to win in Kona,
Right.
to step into the footsteps of Mark Allen, Dave Scott. That's been always on my mind. It's been my main, the main.
That was your driver. That's what you did.
Yeah.
That was
So
driving you.
This
to
is
be the
why
best.
I always think like Kona is the race.
When you came to Kona for the first time and you get third,
Mm.
right, and break the
Amazing.
course record.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
mean, like, and I forget what place you were off the bike, but you were pretty far back.
26.
26, 27,
yeah,
something like
that.
And you run your way through the field, and you get third, and you break the course record, and there's Mark Allen standing there, and you just broke his run course record.
26-year-old.
26-year-old runner. Yeah. So at that point, do you know this? I've always wanted to race here, but this is definitely my course. This is a course that suits me.
It might sound stupid, but I knew it before.
You knew it before.
I had a. If we are really sensitive for it, and you really listen to it really deep down, and you sit there for half an hour with closed eyes, I really thought, even before, I have been in Kona in 2013 to watch the race.
Yes.
And from that moment
That was
on,
Freddie Van Leerd.
exactly.
And Marina Carfrae.
you're a walking history book. And who?
And Marina Carfrae.
Marina Carfrae, yeah. Great race to watch, but ever from that moment, watching this race, I had a feeling deep down inside of me, this is my race. This is where I belong, and this is, I think, where I can,
This is where I can shine.
flourish and shine,
Yes.
So yeah, but coming there and racing there for the first time, having to deal with a lot of, problems along
Yes.
the way.
Yeah.
It was my second Ironman. Someone opened my swimsuit. I had to close my swimsuit in the swim, and I had to overcome so many hurdles. I got the time penalty.
Oh, that's right.
5 minutes, and was standing with Andreas Rehlert, who had, I think he has 5 podiums in Kona. He's a great athlete in Kona, and I was so nervous. Like, oh fuck, it's my first time penalty. What I do? And like, shit, the race is over for me. And he just came and said, Patrick, it's all good. He also had a time penalty.
Yes.
So
you guys were in the penalty box together.
And he was just calming me down and said, you're good. Like, relax, take a deep breath.
It's a long day.
You're such a great runner. No, the day is so long. Calm down. You'll be there. I trust you.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, if he says so.
Andreas
one
Taylor
of the legend of the sport.
Yeah,
He's like, hey, okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and I followed his advice, and I had probably the best run legs of my life.
Yes.
And was able to push right through the end, and that set me up for a great 3 years of Kona performances.
Well, and that was a podium year with what
great
Jan
year
and
for the
Sebi
Germans.
and you guys take the podium. So normally, if you get third and you're the first German, that's a big deal. But now you're like third German. Who cares, right? You go back home and everybody's like, yeah. Hey, good for you. Who are those other guys?
No, I think
Did it change things for you?
Yeah, 100%. Like, nobody knew me before, and
now they did.
As it's been live broadcasted in first German television, and looking back, and if you switch on the video now, and from kilometer 26 they're just talking about me, and was, oh, this is Patrick Lange, oh my god, he is running so beautifully. And it was almost like, okay, Jan is winning the race, but we kind of expected it.
Yes.
But this guy there, this is special. So it kind of
it put you on the map.
100%, and definitely had a big resonance and a lot of
ton of media.
To do so.
And that brought you a lot of sponsorship.
Yes. I was competing on a borrowed bike.
That's right.
So Canyon.
I mean, it was really the race that kept you in the sport.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right?
And,
Borrowed bike.
I'm a physical therapist, and I worked in the job for 3 years, and starting with Faris Al Sultan, working with him, and I thought, okay, if one guy knows how to do it, it's Faris. So I followed his advice, and I was working part-time at the moment as a physio, and after 2-3 months I recognized, okay, no, I cannot do the training he is prescribing, and working on the side. So I said, okay, let's I want to try it at least. It's been always my dream to become an Ironman athlete, and okay, let's have 1 year. My savings were just enough for 1 year of racing. And I say, okay, what could possibly go wrong? The worst thing is to go back to being a physio.
Physical therapy, that's always there.
So and I put it all on that card, and again, it didn't feel wrong, because I had the feeling like deep down in me.
You knew.
I knew. I felt positive about it.
There was something there that
yeah,
hadn't come out yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you win
going
Texas,
to Texas,
you win Texas. You go to Kona, you get third.
Yeah.
And then break Mark Allen's run course record, and then everything is gravy from there. Then you win it 2 years in a row. But the gap between, I don't think there's another gap where somebody has won the race and hasn't won it again for 6 years. You won it
it's the longest
longest gap in between.
I don't know if maybe the women's
Paula? No.
No, she won.
She won a bunch in
so
between.
Probably,
so your first one was 86 and her last one was 95. But there was 8 between, there was 6 others besides that.
Yeah, she was slapping my shoulder and just saying, after Kona, she said, only 5 to go.
You'll be 50 and you'll have a walker, but you'll be good. You'll still be able to go.
She is so great.
She's like, you can catch me eventually.
No, I won't catch her, definitely.
Did you ever doubt that you'd get back in the top of podium?
Of course.
Yeah.
Those 6 years, I mean, they had been probably the hardest of my life, especially 2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
Have been the hardest time of my life. Like the loss of my mother.
Yes.
The loss of a really good friend of mine, Stefan, who was also my bike mechanic.
Yes.
That really threw me on the ground in the dust, and I was I was struggling.
Sure.
But I'm lucky enough to have a great family, great wife.
Yes.
That you picked me up again, and I literally had the feeling to start from kind of zero after 2019, and it was quite a journey there with also good help of a mental coach.
Yes.
To get me up, and it wasn't. If you look at the performances and the results of those 6 years, I wouldn't say that it's bad by any means. I was second in the World Championship. I won Tulsa Ironman. I won Rot. I won Texas, so many races.
You won a lot of
Texas,
races.
It's so the German media always said like, "Oh, you're
done.
Been nowhere."
You're too old.
Exactly.
They're always so nice.
At one point, I said, in the middle of an interview in the TV, I said, "Okay, hold on 1 second. So you want to say me a second place in the World Championship and 3 Ironman victories in this 3 years? So this is not good enough. So how many Ironman races did you won, Mr. Journalist?" So I was really angry at them.
Right.
So, but I think that what counts the most, and I get it, is Kona. You have to win, especially if you won it 2 times before. You kind of bury the burden of being the winner all the time,
Right.
but that's not what sport is all about. You know, it's about the journey and how you get there and to extract the most out of your performances. So I think being always only compared to the victory is just wrong, and by any means
You can't do that.
Exactly.
You can't win forever. But you're 38. Next Kona is you got Nice coming up. Nobody's won back to back, Kona and Nice.
Yeah,
right?
that'd be great.
Nice. And then coming back and being what would you be 40 in?
Correct.
You'd be 40 in 2026.
Correct.
In Kona.
Correct.
The first 40-year-old
I don't
to
look
win.
like it, right?
No, you're look. I don't. There's no gray in your beard. What the hell?
I shaved for you.
I had a shave.
Well, look at this.
That's why they invented hats. Exactly. I do that.
Yeah. No, I will be 40, but
But you seem, to be honest, you're in such a great place. It seems emotionally, psychologically, physically, new coach, new everything, and you just seem to be. I don't see you as a 38-year-old guy. I see you as somebody who is going, I'm getting better every day. I'm not hanging on. Why can't I push the envelope? Why can't I beat these guys?
Sure, that's my mantra, 100%. Obviously, everyone is developing, especially the young guys. We have closed another Olympic cycle, so we see some new speed coming in.
Yeah,
but I always say it's been like that for the last 25 years.
Always.
All the young guys, all the Olympic distance guys come in and they say, "Okay, old man, we're gonna show you and beat your ass." So it didn't happen too often in the Ironman World Championship, let's say it this way. But it's
a different game. People come in from ITU World Triathlon and they feel like, oh, it's I'm just going to go slower for longer. Exactly. And it's like you got to pile those workouts on top of each other and 406. I mean, we're not talking about, and people are going 358. Everything is accelerating.
Sure.
So there's really no reason because of all the expertise that you're bringing to the table. You've seen, nobody surprises you in a race. You sort of know what's going to happen out there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you're playing chess and they're playing checkers. And you've got skills that you've developed in the last couple of years that have helped you bridge that gap between some of the guys who might be coming in with a little more raw speed. But that comes with the fact that you've addressed it in your training and in your racing.
Exactly. Yeah, I can only prepare as best as I can.
Yes.
And go with the development, for example, with shoes, with arrow. Always you have to be also pushing your sponsors and the partners. Okay, I want to get better. That's not the status quo I will accept.
Right.
Because in 2018, I was thinking I have the freaking fastest bike setup ever, and we will not be able to go any faster. How will that be possible? And if I compare my setup 2018 to 2024,
Totally different.
It's a different world. It's a different world. So you always have to push also your partners and to
Yes.
there is always a little bit extra.
There's
and
always something there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Patrick, I always appreciate you taking time and chatting.
Sure.
I learn something every time that we chat. Have a great race on Saturday, and
Thank you,
hopefully
man.
we'll be down at the finish checking you out there.
Yeah, come and check me out. No matter the position, I always love to come on the show and love chatting with you. Thank you.
Love it. Patrick Lange has been our guest again, 3-time Ironman World Champion, Ironman World Championship course record holder. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. See ya.